Hello to you, our viewers. Time again for the news here on Rwanda Television with me, Serge Nhori. We'll begin with the headlines. President Paul Kagame has held a press conference at Village Rugwiro responding to questions to do with both national and regional matters. The First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, has attended the Rwanda Women Leaders Network Summit and the launch of the African Women Leaders Network Rwanda chapter, focusing on building the next generation of women leaders. The Institute of Applied Sciences Ines Ruhengeri has opened a test center for pathogenic microbes. And now the details. I'm glad you're able to join us. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, has reiterated that the situation in the DRC can only be solved by addressing the root cause of the problems there. The head of state made the statement while addressing members of the national, continental and international press at Village Rugwiro on Wednesday. RBA's Isabel Masozera was there and filed the following report that is now being read to you by Jessica Gassaro.
President Paul Kagame has noted that the situation in the DRC continues to escalate because instead of addressing the root cause of the problem, Rwanda is continually used as the scapegoat, adding that the reverse psychology is used to blame the victim in order to take the spotlight off the perpetrators.
Why would they be doing that? Why would Rwanda be doing that? Why would Rwanda want to go into Congo? Why would Rwanda support M23? Why? If you get those answers, you should also ask yourself, what is FDLR doing in Congo, armed and working with government of Congo? Why? Why are they there? What are they to do? The third issue is, what should Rwanda do? Have FDLR armed once in a while, crossing the border, killing our people, and we should just keep quiet? This is another question that must be answered.
The President of the Republic of Rwanda highlighted that the security challenges in the DRC are due to the mismanaging and mishandling of the situation, which he says has gone on far too long, noting that the issue have existed for decades and that there have been many interventions from Rwanda, Nairobi, Addis Ababa and beyond the continent.
This problem has a very long history. In terms of the cause of that. But it also has a long history of how it has been mismanaged from the beginning. That's why it is there for the last 20-something years. And if you look at the attention that has been paid to this so-called Eastern Congo problem. It's so much so that one would think we should have got a solution to this problem. So it's been there for long. It has been mismanaged for very long. And I think it has a relationship also with the first thing I corrected, that it can't just keep being seen as Eastern Congo problem. It's a Congo problem, only based, this particular one, based in Eastern Congo. So, your important question, I'm not sure. People have discussed these kinds of settings. The AU summit, we discussed it. We discussed it in Kenya. We discussed it in Angola. We have discussed it around General Assembly in New York. We have discussed it almost everywhere. And people, there are other well-wishers there who want to help in this problem. The other day we were supposed to go and meet in Qatar over the same problem. That didn't happen, but maybe it is going to happen in the near future. So everywhere we are talking about this problem.
The head of state emphasized that Rwanda is not responsible for the presence of M23 in Congo, adding that the problem can't be solved by putting the blame on Rwanda, shining a light on the fact that there are over 120 rebel groups in the DRC.
But in Congo, in eastern Congo, there are over 120 armed groups, of which M23 is only one of them, right? So the 120 armed groups, how were they formed? Certainly, I haven't even heard, even those who hate Rwanda, who tell a lot of lies about Rwanda, have not accused Rwanda of having formed those 100 and plus armed groups. So at least even those who wish us everything negative have not accused us of that. They're only accusing us of association with M23. But that's not true. The so-called M23 is a product of a lot of things, mismanaged, mishandled, starting even in those days. I talked of colonial times, how these people associated with Rwanda happened to be in Congo. If, to be honest, I probably wasn't around when it happened. That was way before I was born. So how can I be responsible for the problem? How can I be the cause of the problem?
President Paul Kagame noted that Rwanda has offered DRC help, but it was declined, unlike the case for Mozambique and the Central Republic, revealing that Rwanda built capacity because of its history, which is why the country is able to help other countries address their problem.
We have sought to work with Congo for a long time so that we eliminate these problems. They just refused. So, what can we do? Now, but for Mozambique and the Central African Republic, by African standards, Rwanda has built a decent capacity and understanding to solve with others some of these challenges we face. We face them as a country, Rwanda, but other countries face similar problems on our continent. And then in the end, there is a link between one problem in one part of Africa with another problem in another part of Africa. So given these capacities we have built while we are dealing with our own internal problems, that's how actually we came to that. We came to that on issues of security, peace, and military, police, and what. We faced so much of these challenges that inevitably we had to invest in building these capacities. Decent. I don't want anybody to exaggerate. We don't have too much of anything, including this capacity. We just have decent capacities to address our problems, but working with others to just increase capacity for them to address their problems. That's how we happen to be in Mozambique. That's how we happen to be in the Central African Republic.
Conveners included members of the press from different countries on the continent like Kenya, Uganda, Zambia, Mozambique, Congo Brazzaville, and others beyond. Jessica Agasaro, RTV News.
Thank you, Isabel and Jessica, for that report. Now we'll stay with that press conference. Now looking at national matters, His Excellency Paul Kagame has reassured Rwandans that the government is not sitting idly by dealing with the problems of rising prices in markets, and revealed that there is a long-term plan aimed at increasing the salaries of government employees in general. We have the details on that with Adam Squizera this time.
In this press conference, which was attended by dozens of journalists, including those from Rwanda and other African countries, as well as beyond, President Paul Kagame spoke on issues related to the rise of commodity prices in market. What we are doing is to start with those things which are going well, and then looking into how we can deal with the effects of the things that are beyond our control. Regardless, the team concerned with our country's economy is implementing measures, including putting in place subsidies for supporting the country, supporting the citizens, as a way of fighting inflation, plus other measures taken by the central bank, which also has its ways of managing the currency. It has its way of limiting inflation. Please note, however, it takes time for prices to fall again. It's not something that can happen in one day just because the measures are being implemented, but things will get back on track, though it will take time. The head of state also responded to a request made by some government employees for a salary increase. Before we go back to the teachers, I think that we will ensure that even in other sectors have got something, like doctors, judges, those who work in justice sector. It's possible, but I can't promise that there is a certain date will be done, because we first check on how much it is in our envelope, but we think on it. What I can say is that we don't think on some and not do the same to others, which I think they will get it as well. We will do our best. We will keep tracking where we can get resources, depending on which sectors are doing better than others. President Kagame also reiterated on the bilateral relations between Rwanda and Mozambique in fighting against terrorism acts in Cabo Delgado province, where he noted that even though Rwanda has gone there, but there is no cause to suppress terrorism, which is in the interests of Rwandans and their security.
We actually arrested terrorists here. I think there were 5 or 6, I don't remember, connected with ADF, that is in Eastern Congo, and these terrorist groups in Cabo Delgado. And they were here. So we have them, they're in prison. Those responsible interrogated them, they revealed everything, and it was just, in fact, the whole idea, even up to now, is for those groups, I don't remember their names, in Mozambique, in Cabo Delgado, to link up with the ADF and continue and link up with through Central African Republic to Sahel region. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's actually worth our money.
Regarding Rwanda's partnership with Arsenal and PSG, in promoting Rwanda's tourism through Visit Rwanda, the head of state announced that after these two teams, in the near future, Rwanda will sign agreements such as that with another team because it was seen that Rwanda benefits from such partnerships. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
And now moving on to other matters, Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame has reminded women in leadership positions that they have the duty to continuously innovate and sustain achievements made so that future generations of women and girls can draw inspiration from them and contribute significantly to the development of this country. The First Lady made the remarks at the Rwanda Women Leaders Network Summit on Wednesday here in Kigali. Olive Ntete with more.
In discussions themed Building the Next Generation of Women Leaders, discussions focused on mentoring each other and also sharing knowledge and experience in the journey of Rwandan women's development. The space was also used to highlight the obstacles that affected women's development in the past and how the political will has been a catalyst in the development of women noticed today. Some of the panelists reflected on mentorship and building capacity of young women as factors that can fuel the next generation of women leaders. During discussions, the Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, Professor Jeanette Bayisenge, reiterated on the fact that women should support each other so as to close existing gaps hindering women's development. Madame Bineta Diop, the special envoy of the chairperson of the African Union Commission on Women, Peace and Security, pointed out that young women and girls should be engaged in leadership activities so as to interact with elders in the journey of shaping their future.
We are faced with a generation of young women that are far advanced in their quest for leadership than my generation, even the one in between. So we, the elders, we must encourage that boldness in our youth. We must co-lead. Don't say that we lead and they follow, but co-lead them across the path of success through co-mentoring and through an intergenerational length. I encourage the young women to join the Global Caucus, Aulin Caucus, and I encourage the young women to establish the Rwanda Young Women Leaders Caucus as part of the Aulin chapter to interact directly. That's what you have done this morning with the elders and with young women across the continent and the diaspora.
In this summit, the First Lady Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame officially launched the African Women Leaders Network, Rwanda chapter. Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame also urged women in leadership positions to maintain the achievements made so that they can serve as role models for younger women and girls.
Iteka iyo tuvuga imibare itandukanye yerekana abagore bari mu nzego.
When we always mention different statistics of women in leadership levels, let us not talk about it only or only appreciate it. When we talk of the value of a woman in our country, let us add that it was not done accidentally. The political will of our country that does not discriminate led women to being placed in different decision-making levels. We do not doubt the standard of our network because it was established when it was needed. Instead, we have the responsibility of innovating and preserving the achievements for generations to come to be fond of it, as they are the future of our country. Rwanda Women Leaders Network was established in 2011 by the First Lady Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame and currently consists of 2,000 members. Olive Ntete, RTV News.
And now to economic matters. As the second roll of import duty exemption for construction, industrial and agricultural materials is slated for this Thursday, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning states that it has been 2 years since this program of import duty exemption on the imported goods for those sectors started and gave room to an investment worth $800 million, employing 36,000 people in 123 newly established companies. Prince Manzi has the details.
The cabinet meeting held in December 2020 approved the Manufacturer Build to Recover program that aims to boost economic recovery efforts with specific incentives for the manufacturing, agro-processing, construction and real estate development sectors. These are some of the industrialists appreciating the chance given that enabled them to boost their economic recovery and state that they are ready to benefit from the extended chances given by the cabinet meeting held in January 2023. The first benefit is in paying bank loans, and it has been productive to all of us and the employees.
bidufasha nkaho ari ubufasha ari inkingi ya mwamba.
This is a great move of the government that cares for its citizens, for these citizens to continue working and the price to be stable. But if the tax was not exempted, the price would be set high by the investor for him to not fall into loss. I would say it is a great decision that is in favor of industrialists and those willing to invest in industries.
haba ku nganda zisanzwe zikora ndetse no kubifuza gushora imari mu nganda.
For those having projects that fall into agro-processing, construction and industrial sectors, and their requests were received in December 2022, they have till December 2023 to have bought the materials and finish with the construction projects by December 2025. For those that requested in 2023, they have until December 2024 to have bought the materials and finish their projects by December 2026. The Minister of State in charge of National Treasury in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, Richard Tushabe, elaborates more on what is expected in this second row of this program.
So the second phase is coming basically to, one, assist those who started in phase one to finalize the investment that they've made. By number two, to get new investors on board, to push the recovery journey of our economy. So we are very excited. We think it's a very good initiative. It has responded to the biggest pain points of our country, which is employment, food security, but more importantly, the sustainable development and speaking to the GDP growth.
It is expected that this Thursday, the second row of the import duty exemption for construction, industry and agricultural materials be inaugurated on the national level. Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente states that this program impacted highly the economic sector and will continue to develop the investment. The government also established the Manufacture and Build to Recover program that aims to develop local industries and reduce the imported products. The program was expected to end in 2022, and the government approved its extension of 2 years. The program also helps in reducing the cost of starting an industry and bigger construction projects. This program also helps the already existing industries to develop, and it focuses on the investment in the construction and industrial sectors and develop newly 106 projects worth $1.8 billion US, and it has employed 36,000 people. From December 2020 to December 2022, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning states that in these 2 years, the program of import duty exemption for construction, industrial and agricultural materials gave room to an investment worth $1.8 billion US, and 36,000 people were employed in 123 established societies. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Now to academic and scientific matters. The Institute of Applied Sciences, Ines Ruhengeri, has officially opened a test center for pathogenic microbes. Jessica Gasaro with more.
Minganzima Divine and Mbawazi Wimana Fiet are in their 4th year in the laboratory department. They expressed the benefit of having the Center for Genomic Biology.
This field of genomics in our institution of Ines is going to help us during diagnosing of different diseases, as we will be detecting the DNA of the parasite or any microorganism. It will be very specific in treating different diseases, and we will be specifying a given medicine to that parasite, which will be indicated using a DNA of that parasite.
This will help us to make the more practice, to get the practice skills, and also it will help us to be competitive compared to the other universities.
This center will conduct research on various diseases, but initially the focus will be on malaria, as explained by Dr. Mazarati Jean-Baptiste, chairman of the Council of Ines Ruhengeri.
It is the capacity which will leverage DNA technologies to measure how the mosquitoes causing malaria are mutating over time. We not only measure that one, we also map the resistance across the whole country in Rwanda, from east to west, from north to south, from every corner of Rwanda.
The mayor of Musanze district, Ramuri Janvier, points out that this microbial testing center is an important step in the development of health services.
This center will be really helpful and beneficial to, first of all, to the academia, to the students of INES, as they are being trained to later serve in different health institutions. So it's first of all the benefit for the students that are being trained here, but later on the benefits will be also extended to our community, as the service they will be serving in different health institutions will be contributing to the control of different diseases. And this control, once it is achieved, it is also one factor that is allowing our community to have a safe life.
At the beginning, the research on malaria mosquito cells is being carried out in 20 regions. The Center for Genomic Biology will be used by master's students. Jessica Agasaro, RTV News.
It's the end of our edition. Thank you for taking the time to join us. On behalf of the rest of the team that made this possible, goodbye.